Hey, what's up, guys? Miles here. Here I want to show you how I pick my best stocks, but it doesn't necessarily mean to follow my picking stocks. Like I'm not a financial advisor. You can make financial decision on your own. Some of you may learn something new from this video if you are experienced investors, especially those with little or no experience and recently started investing. I'm saying that watching this video can save you a lot of time and money. In this video, my goal is to show you how to pick winning stocks using a simple and effective process. Get ready, guys. Okay, guys, this is an important part. Now you just need a piece of paper and a pen. Or you can open notes on your laptop or whatever you like. Just write down what you love, what you like to do, and what you believe in. Your first reaction is probably, what? I'm going to close this video. It doesn't tell me how to pick stocks. No, my point is you writing down what you love. It will help when picking stocks and companies which you really love. I don't care whatever it is weird, dumb, or else. You just want to list what you love as much as you can. It will help you make a decision when it comes to picking stocks. At least, that's what I do, because there are many stocks or companies out there. It can be difficult to decide which one to pick. Writing it down will save and reduce tons of time. Just trust me on this. I have used it many times and it always worked. I am confident it will work for you as well. You can list things like gaming, technology, or agriculture. I believe that what we love or like or believe in, the longer we will hold on to stocks. Once you're done with listing, perfect. Okay, now let's decide how you will pick stocks. You will need to know what your risk preference is. In other words, how much risk you can handle. It's common and ideal for young people to encounter more risks. Generally, an older person prefers a more conservative, less risky approach. However, the reality is that age has nothing to do with it. It all depends on your preferences. Again, always remember what you can afford to lose. Personally, I prefer a bit more risky since I believe that more risk leads to more reward. But you got to understand, of course, more risk means more research. This is what I do, more research, and I believe that I will do well. I'm probably going to lose some money, but I am not really worrying about it because I still can buy dip. Remember, I only lose if I sell stocks, but I'm not planning to sell mine. I'm keeping and buying more as they dip. You guys want to do the same. Don't give up over a small thing. Don't think short term, but rather long term. I like to focus on passive-aggressive investment. That means I'm seeking 8% return and 4% dividend yield annually, which adds up to 12% ideally. Not exactly. That's my strategy. Now, I want to show you there are different types of portfolio investments that can suit your risk tolerance. You can see there is aggressive growth, passive-aggressive growth, passive moderate growth, passive conservative growth, and conservative growth. Each of them is different. Conservative growth is the least risk investment. For those who want the lowest risk as possible, there is also the greatest risk of aggressive growth. Aggressive growth could produce returns of 14 to 16% per year. That strategy is most likely used by swing traders. Swing traders are those who buy and sell every 2 weeks or once a month. It is possible that they could go for the long run, but they are probably going for cheap stocks and hoping to grow over time. But for me, I'm opting for passive-aggressive. Regularly, I do hope my stocks grow steadily and do well in 10 years. At the same time, I'm buying dividend stocks that are growing slowly but with higher dividend yields. That's the goal of my portfolio. I'm young and 20 years old, involved in real estate, YouTube, and business. It's an opportunity for me to focus on passive-aggressive growth investment. This is a great plan for my retirement. Plus, I get to enjoy my wealth. Actually, not just for retirement, but also as a hobby. When it comes to investing in stocks, I enjoy thinking of strategies, like when playing chess instead of checkers. Researching stocks in a simple way This is what I do. This idea is excellent for some of you having difficult decisions and saves tons of time when picking stocks. Some of you would probably focus on financial statements and etc. But it's really wasting our time unless you settle down and have plenty of time to do it. You have to think that a stock is going to do well in 10 years. Warren Buffett famously quoted, "Don't buy stocks like you're planning to own them for 10 seconds. Think about owning them in 10 years. You don't want to sell them in 6 months or 1 year. Aim to hold them for 10 years because of tax savings. But actually, not just for tax purposes. You get more returns or profits in the long term if you pick stocks with a solid business model. Business models are extremely influential. Make sure you're picking a business model that you know has high consistency. You can look at a company's website or hear from people. There are many resources you can look at and learn from. A bit of financial information about a company is also important after going over its business model. It's really worthwhile to look at it. While I am willing to explain a bit about it, I don't want to go further because it can be a little complicated. A lot of math solving, and of course, you don't need to know calculus or algebra to solve it. But you need to know some basic math and some usual formulas to solve. I will explain more about it another time. For those beginners, you don't have to really worry about looking at financial statements. You only need to know net income and share price. That's all. Don't stress yourself. Same with me when I was new to investing in stocks. It was a bit overwhelming for me. It is important to think simple and straightforward. It's a must to look at a company's P/E ratio. It's really very helpful to look at it. P/E really refers to price per share and earnings per share. The idea is that price per share divides earnings per share. Okay, so to get the real picture, if the P/E ratio is high, it means the company is overvalued. If it's low, it means the company is undervalued. Why? And how does it work? Let me give you an example of it. If you have a share that is priced high and the earnings themselves are low, let's say a share costs $50 and now we have $1 in earnings. 50 divides 1. And the answer is obviously 50. It's pretty high and overvalued. Now, let's say we have $50 a share and $2 for earnings. Dividing it, we now have 25. It's not bad, and it'd be better to buy this one instead of the previous one. You guys got it. Now let me show you a few real-life examples of companies with a low or high P/E ratio. You can recognize Tesla having a high P/E because the stock price or value is too high and the earnings is low. It doesn't mean their earnings are bad. They are still a very successful company. Just saying Tesla's stock is overvalued. As well, there are pros and cons for both sides. Overvaluation can be beneficial because it means there is plenty of capital to support a company from investors. But unfortunately, the company doesn't have enough earnings to pay returns to the investors. We don't know that yet. That's the downside of overvalued. Now, the downside for undervalued stocks is that there isn't enough capital to support a company, but it has more earnings or profits. Not having enough capital means not being able to pay all expenses, such as the cost of labor and the cost of goods. Insufficient capital support from investors means no budget to cover them. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I urge you to consider buying undervalued stocks because this means those need more capital support. So we want to take the opportunity by investing and supporting those to help grow. I always like to look for and invest in undervalued stocks because I want to see them grow in the long run from my capital support while I don't really worry about overvalued stocks, focusing more on overvalued for the possibility of tremendous returns in the long term if the stocks do well and keep up with their business models and finances. So, I'm just saying that overvalued stocks are highly recommended and overrated. I think it's good to invest or buy them. I have explained the 3 tips. And now I will finish by suggesting that you don't let emotions control you. Focus on facts that are more relevant than your emotions. You know, sometimes we rely heavily on information from social media and news. They may talk a lot about investing and finance. You may see some negative stories. As a result, you probably feel overwhelmed by the negative and end up selling your stocks. Don't ever do like that. Don't let them take over your head. And remember as well that news and social media's purposes are to make money off of you by getting your attention. Meanwhile, you fear and sell your stocks, which can cause you to lose money and miss out on opportunities. Don't let the news headlines affect your investing decision. Focus on facts, knowing that the business you invested in has a strong business model and financial statements. You want to continue investing as long as you can. Don't ever stop. It's these things that make you a successful investor. It's really simple. You get the idea now. Again, you can see it's a very simple process. If you found this video helpful or like my simple process, then smash the subscribe and like buttons for the YouTube algorithm. And of course, leave a comment. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you for your time watching this video. See you all next time soon.